get through the uncertainty of a new administration in Washington. As I said, we've done this before. We've been through this. And
isn't necessarily the best place to start. In fact, I think our reverence for the truth might have become a bit of a distraction. That is
you condemn white supremacy. And he fuddled around him saying, I said, how about the Proud Boys? And he said, well,
Ronald Reagan was 2 months into his presidency when John Hinckley Jr. blew a $20 million. About blowing up the White House.
If you want to really see something that said, take a look what happened.
I want to take this message to talk to your viewers real quick about the story, the conversation we need to have now. The BOP is wasting lots of tax dollars in frivolous spending, and Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for tuning in to the American Rising. I am your host, Barry Ramey. Doesn't it seem like there's forces actively trying to destroy this great nation? It's because there are. It's very clear. And if you weren't brought up to speed by the reality of the border open for the last 4 years, wide open, deliberately left wide open. If you weren't able to see that there is a strategy in place to tear away at the seams the moral fabric of this great nation, well, then you're naive. But I think most of us now realize that this is by design. This doesn't just happen by accident. And it brings me to the point of our show today. And we're going to talk about this mayoral primary winner in the Democrat Party. I refuse to refer to them as the Democratic Party because, let's face it, there's nothing democratic about them anymore. I think that ship has sailed a long time ago. Wouldn't you agree? So the Democrat Party in New York has showed up to their primary, unlike conservatives, and have elected a mayoral candidate that is a devout Muslim and devout socialist. We know that socialism paves the way for communism. This is a fact. And while people on the left will try to tell you that you're naive and crazy for thinking this, you and I both know that that is 100% true. Socialism is the doctrine for communism. It paves the way. Socialism is not an implementation of a social government structure as they try to sell it. It is a way for communism to flourish and replace socialism in the end, and we have seen that time and time again, historically speaking. This individual, Mamdani, he is very clear that his views on America are very far left. They're not of American values. He doesn't believe in our Constitution. And he is very clear with his words. All one has to do is go back and look at some of the things on record that this individual has said. And it should be very alarming. It should be very eye-opening. We should be very concerned. Or should we? And here's what I mean. we know that socialism is a failed philosophy. It has failed time and time again. Every time it's been implemented, everywhere it goes, and you have some people that will point to the Canadian healthcare system, which is a travesty. Just ask anybody that's going to be realistic from Canada. It is a joke. You can wait 6 months for a needed surgery at times. It is an embarrassment, and they know this. And the left points to it because either they never experienced it, or their only agenda is to denounce capitalism in the Constitution and promote socialism. So they don't really care about the reality that socialism is a failed state. They'll point to Sweden and in these places. These programs do not work. And so they want you to believe that it's this grand idea and that we don't have 100 examples of why it's bad. So what I mean by, should we be concerned, or should we get our Diddy baby oil coated popcorn and just get ready to enjoy the New York shit show? New York can't be saved. I mean, they continue to vote people like Kathy Hochul and these other pieces of trash, these Cuomos, these people that really don't have a solid record, let alone a fundamental understanding and a core belief in American value system. They don't. They demonstrated every day that they're on the job, and New Yorkers continuously vote them in. So, can New York be fucking saved? Absolutely not. And when something is so bad, like a building, if the building is so bad that its foundation is deteriorating, and there's no way that any type of money or renovation can go into restoring the foundation of this building because it's so structurally damaged, what do? Well, you take the building down. You level it, you build a new foundation, and you build something great on that foundation. And I know that's very sad to say, because let's face it, New York is a great American city with rich history, American culture, some of its finest, and its very own unique niche when it comes to American culture. And Donald Trump is the epitome of that. I mean, the tough New Yorker businessman that paved the way for real estate industry and business movements through America all throughout the Great Depression and beyond. And it's a rich business culture. And it's gone. It's gone. Let's stop pretending like a man lighting a woman on fire on a subway. I mean, we just forgot that happened. Yeah, I mean, look what's going on in that city, and they continue to vote for the people that are responsible for their own demise. So what do you do with that building when it's standing there and it's about to fall over? You take it down. You push it over. You level it. And I believe Mamdani, if he is to be elected as the mayor, and all signs point to he is going to be, maybe this is the grand display that these little stubborn, privileged sons of bitches on college campuses that are championed for the replacement of our Constitution with socialist agenda. Maybe it's about time they get to witness it firsthand. They get to see it, and they get to watch it crumble, and they get to know that they were responsible, because America does not have a politician problem. It's a fucking people problem. And all you have to do is look at the politicians that continuously win their seats and the people that voted for them. And that's where we see New York. Is it not? Is it not? So while I believe in the Statue of Liberty, and I believe that she is one of the most amazing monuments in the world and a testament to liberty and freedom there throughout, she's pregnant with her 10th kid, 8th baby daddy, maybe 9th, we don't know. She's addicted to fentanyl, covered in Tekashi 6ix9ine face tattoos. She's got a red bandana hanging out the back and a bottle of Colt 45 wrapped in a paper bag, sitting on a stump, thinking about whether she should move to Florida or not. That's the state of New York, whether we like it or not. And I don't like it. I don't have to live there. I live in an amazing state with people that tried the Democrat push and got sick of it and voted accordingly and correctly. And now the Statue of Liberty may want to come to the Gulf of America. post up in the middle of there. I wouldn't blame her. Would you? So as we watch New York on full display speed barrel towards its own demise, yeah. Do we cheer it on? Or do we grab our faces like Kevin McAllister in Home Alone? Oh no, not socialism. It's what New Yorkers want. You can't save them. So why do we keep trying? So let's see if this individual wins the midterm election and becomes the mayor. It'll be telling of a lot of things, and it also, if he does not win, and let's say Eric Adams is reelected or Cuomo runs as an independent, does that say something? Is that further proof that there is an American rising happening, and in this far left progressive grip that they have on the Democrat Party is slowly not appealing to voters? Well, one can only hope. But let's see. We're in the watch party mode now here at Warboy Studios, and we're watching, and that's the issue with this, because I don't think a lot of people are even worried about or concerned about the socialist aspect of this candidate that the Democrats have chosen. I think it's more about the Sharia law that he refuses to denounce. America, while it's true, does have the First Amendment. And the First Amendment's freedom for one to practice his or her religion is very important, and I will defend that. It is okay to believe what you believe, but when you come here to the United States and you start to advocate to replace our judicial system with your religious one, notable Sharia law, I have a huge problem with that, and I believe Americans as a whole have a huge problem with that. The Constitution is the law of the land here. And even though we do have Judeo-Christian values, we wouldn't tolerate somebody, preaching biblical punishment. There's a lot of punishment in the Bible that I don't think in today's society should be implemented, and I don't believe as a Christ follower that Christ would even go along with that as well. And if somebody got up there and was trying to advocate for a biblical law structure, I would say no, absolutely not, because it does not usurp or replace our Constitution. Our Constitution is the law of the land. And that is what this Mamdani dude is advocating for. He will not denounce Sharia law. He is openly calling for a replacement of our Constitution with Sharia law by advocating for it. And I say no. I say that can never be allowed to happen, even if it is in a cesspool of a failed experiment, such as a Democrat-controlled city that New York, San Francisco, and others have become. Portland, Oregon, you're on that list too. But we can't have that. We, the people, cannot have that. And since, especially on the right, the elected officials in office are as spineless as an amoeba. It is up to us to voice our concerns and opinions and stand up against it. I don't know if you know this, ladies and gentlemen, but right now they have city approval because of the likes of politicians like Cornyn, who I hope to see out this midterm. It looks like we will, thank goodness. There's an Epic City, and that's the name of it, Epic City in Texas, that just got the permits to launch an entire Sharia-based lathered Muslim community. Oh, and it's beautiful. It looks like mini fucking Dubai. We can't even have Christian communities build something like that, a Christian community in this Judeo-Christian nation. But the Muslims, no problem, just whatever we can do to sell our culture down the river. We have politicians on the left and also the right that continuously send our ship down that river. And I, for one, am absolutely tired of it. So I guess we'll see where this comes. But speaking of a peaceful religion, we have something happening behind the scenes, and why it's happening behind the scenes is beyond me. But I already know the answer, and I believe you do too. So while everyone's focused on this alligator Alcatraz, this plot of land that's actually existed for quite some time, what's happening that the mainstream media is not talking about, even though the Trump administration is communicating what is happening. You see the apparatuses of the deep state in the media, CNN, MSNBC, PBS, NPR, the usual suspects. They're not talking too much about a very big story that right now, as we speak, the Tom Homan, the Border Patrol and Customs and ICE are rounding up within the hundreds of Iranian nationals. Yes, that's right. Iranian nationals with ties to even the Iranian Republic Guard, whatever the hell that is over there. And yeah, most of, as you can imagine, of these people came over our border the last 4 years. And needless to say, a lot of these people are they're being accused of operating within an Iranian sleeper cell to target Americans and carry out the what I hope and believe to be the last days of the Ayatollah's grip on Iran. I do think there's going to be an end there soon, hopefully a very peaceful one for the Iranian people, because my beef is with the Iranian government. I really pray for the liberation of the Iranian people, and I believe they want it too. So we'll see what happens with that. But it's really telling. It's really telling, that the media, that all these different media organizations, albeit they're losing their viewership, they're able to have some kind of communication channel where they decide what stories they want to suppress and what stories they want to change the narrative and push out in mass. And they all seem to be able to get on the same page when it comes to this almost immediately. We've seen it with the Hunter Biden laptop. We've seen it how quick when the New York Post published this, and it ended up being 100% true, how even social media and it was able to just suppress the story and put it out as Russian disinformation. That seems to be their go-to thing over there on the left these days. But you've seen how quick they were able to do that. Well, they are also able to do that same thing in reverse. And here this story is where, okay, it confirms what we all already knew, that there was Iranian sleeper cells here, that they were activated during the campaign for presidency for Donald Trump, where the Iranian government made threats on our president's life. And that is something I will never forgive personally. But they're here, they're operating, and it shows that not only does it show that they're here and they got here under the open border, which, a lot of conservative pundits have claimed this has been going on, only to be called conspiracy theorists. It shows that Trump and Holman are doing their job and they're keeping Americans safe. And that's what we voted for. And that's why they're not talking about this more publicly. That's why this is not a huge story. Can you imagine if Obama had done something like this? Oh my God. Time Magazine would print a second edition that month just to throw him on the cover again. And here we are. And, yes. And while it is true that there is conservative media outlets that are booming, that the rise in conservative news and information in the will to obtain it, especially by the younger generation, is at an all-time historical rise. And I believe that is because of the lies constantly told in the left-wing media, that the people are waking up to it. It's a new phenomenon, and that all these conglomerates can get together and operate as a cabal. I mean, that makes you question, well, who's pulling the strings? Is this deep state that Donald Trump is always talking about actually true? Well, I think we know the answer to that. We see it all the time. And so here we are again, and these are two big issues, and it goes back to this question that we must ask ourselves: are we at risk as American citizens? Yes. Unfortunately, yes. Our border was left wide open deliberately by the previous administration to implement something called the Cloward and Piven strategy, which is designed to collapse the American economy and the American foundation and structure to implement a socialist utopia. That is what the Democrats are doing. They are actively doing this, and I highly recommend researching the Cloward and Piven strategy. It's not very hard to understand, and it becomes very clear this is all by design. America, unless you and I wake up together all throughout this country from coast to coast before these primaries and we don't get actively involved like we did on November 5th, then this chance God gave us when he entered our realm and turned Donald Trump's head in Butner, PA, it'll all be for nothing. It's up to us to get together and rally and get this administration the help that they need going forward in these midterms, or else we have nobody to blame but ourselves. And it is imperative that we make sure that this happens, because the Democrats are already lining up to do what they're doing. They're going to do their impeachment plans. They're stopping Donald Trump at all costs. This is not a party that cares about laws and regulations and doing good by the constituents. This is the party that only exists to stop Donald Trump and his agenda at any cost by any means necessary. And it's unfortunate, but it's true. They don't care about policy. They don't care about you. They don't care about the price of eggs. They don't care about illegal immigrants. If Donald Trump tomorrow were to say that, you know what, I changed my mind, I'm bringing all the illegal immigrants back, Democrats at that moment would be pro border control, pro shutting down the border and sending them back. They don't stand for anything unless it's against Donald Trump. And I think we're seeing him start to play these strings very well behind the scenes. We will continue to watch. It's a very fun and entertaining time to be alive. That is for sure. But America, this 4th of July, I want you all to be very vigilant and careful. While we do not let the terrorist win on the War Boy Studios, and especially on this show, I want you to get out there and celebrate the beautiful independence of this gorgeous nation, this nation that men and women have fought, died to protect, to prevail. Celebrate all of that. And you go out there with force and your flags and your Trump, whatever you've got, and you wear it with pride. But I want you to keep your head on a swivel. I know that, in the trying times that we find ourselves in, that we do tend to be a little bit more elevated when it comes to our own personal security, especially when we have loved ones and vulnerable loved ones around us. But I want you to really take caution this upcoming 4th of July. I want you to celebrate. I want you to celebrate hard, but I want you to also protect your family and be careful. And especially when you're in large crowds, because the previous administration and their weakness have demonstrated to the world that we don't really care. Hence why you've seen some spy balloon fly over an entire country with impunity. But we have an adult back. Daddy's home. And Iran just FAFO'd, and I think the world was watching, and they realized we're not messing around. So with that comes temper tantrums, and when you're a terrorist, a temper tantrum is deadly. So be careful, my fellow American citizens, and know that here at the War Boy Studios, you always have a friend and protector of us. And us, we love this country very much, and anybody that loves it, that waves the American flag, that believes in the Constitution and the founding of this country and the future of this country, I care not what you look like or where you come from. I find a brother or sister within you. If you're an individual that hates this nation, that hates our Constitution, that wants to replace capitalism with a Marxist socialist utopia, well, I don't care what you look like and where you came from. You are an enemy to me, and you always will be, because I love this nation. I love this nation with all my heart. I refuse to apologize for how great it is and what it's done for the world. I understand that we are not perfect, and you can love your nation but not be okay with the people in charge. And while I excuse this current administration from that statement, there are still unelected bureaucrats and officials that are operating behind the scenes that work against you and me, we, the people. And I want to continue to be in their faces and call them out every chance we get, because I love this nation. Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Barry Ramey. I am the host of the new show, The American Rising, here on the new War Boy Studios. We are just getting our platform and our network and our studio built and started. So you're with us on this beginning and this journey. And I thank you all for being here and tuning in. And I would request that you all continue to do so by following here on X at The American Rise. We're now on TikTok too at The American Rise, and we're all on all other platforms at American Rising. So go ahead and give us a follow and hit that notification, because we're going to go live at very sporadic times. We have a lot of cool projects that we're working on. We're pulling our network of people together throughout the underground conservative podcast movement, and we're up to some really cool stuff that I really hope that you get to be a part of, because it's coming soon. And although I can't talk in great lengths because I don't want to spill the beans before we get to have a burrito party, but it's going to be a lot of fun, man. I hope you guys tune in. So 4th of July, get ready for some shenanigans from the Warboy Studios here at the American Rising Podcast. Make sure you subscribe and hit that follow button. And we look forward to doing this more often with you guys. Never stop loving this nation. Don't take a knee to communism. You don't play for the fucking NFL. And no matter what anybody tells you, there is a Marxist agenda to replace our great nation's constitution and replace it with a socialist Marxist agenda. And I just say absolutely fucking no to that. So without any further ado, we're going to close out this show. Stay proud, America. Love y'all.
We will get through the uncertainty of a new administration in Washington. As I said, we've done this before. We've been through this. And
isn't necessarily the best place to start. In fact, I think our reverence for the truth might have become a bit of a distraction that is.
You condemn white supremacy. And he fuddled around him saying, I said, how about the Proud Boys? And they said, well,
Ronald Reagan was 2 months into his presidency when John Hinckley Jr. blew a $20 million.
I have thought an awful lot about blowing up the White House.
If you want to
But
really see something that said, take a look what happened